Well, here I am hiding out of the kitchen on Thanksgiving Day. I asked Susie what I could do to help her, and she said, get out of the kitchen. So here I thought I would come and spend a few moments with you between football games to wish you and your family a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. You know, it's amazing. They tell us during this season to be thankful. And we always think of Thanksgiving as Thanksgiving. But you know, when it says to be thankful, I think it begins with being. Am I a person who's willing to be thankful in my life? As I thought about that, I wondered maybe there are two ways that I can be thankful. The first is to be thankful to God. I mean, I love what the Apostle Paul said in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 18. He said, be joyful always, pray without ceasing, and give thanks in all your circumstances, for this is God's will for you. You know, it's amazing. He tells us here, joy always, pray continually, give thanks in everything. In other words, totally, all the time, 24/7, he calls upon us to have such a dependence upon God that we can give thanks to him in everything. He doesn't say give thanks for everything. He tells us to give thanks in everything. And as I approach the highs and lows, the challenges of life, it all depends what kind of person I am. My response is determined by whether I'm willing to be thankful in those situations. I heard a story recently about this poor mother who lived with her child in South Chicago in a very treacherous neighborhood. And whenever she'd go to church, she would simply pray, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus. Oh Lord, thank you, Jesus. And every time she would pray, she would say the same prayer, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus. Well, the children started mimicking her prayer, making fun of her, until finally one of them said, Mrs. Brown, how come you always pray, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus? She said, well, it's simple. It says, you know, in our neighborhood, it's pretty tight. There's a lot of danger. In fact, we've had a bullet go through our bedroom window. And sometimes I've had to sleep on the floor, even under the bed with my daughter. And as we're on the floor praying, sleeping, I say, oh Lord. As I hear the ruckus outside, I say, oh Lord. And then when we wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, Jesus. And that's why my prayer every day is, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus. You know, she said, then the school bus comes, and I have to send my daughter to a school and you can anticipate what kind of neighborhood it's in. And as I put my precious little child on the bus, I say, oh Lord. And all day as I think about where she is and what she's doing, I say, oh Lord. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that bus comes home. I see her smiling face, and I say, thank you, Jesus. My friends, that little lady who doesn't have a lot of earth's possessions gives us a lot of heavenly truth as she teaches us that being thankful begins with being a person who at their very core is willing to be dependent and thankful upon the God of heaven. But you know, not only are we thankful to God, but I think we need to be thankful to each other and to express appreciation for what the other person means in our lives. The Apostle Paul, in practically every one of his letters, he begins by saying, I thank God for you folks and the difference you have made in my life. For the power of the gospel in you, I thank God. And I wonder how much that motivated other people to hear the great Apostle Paul, the missionary statesman, the one they adored, to thank them for being a part of his missionary enterprise. I read the story this week about this brain surgeon who, after he was talking to the family after a successful surgery, someone said, how did you get into medicine? He said, well, when I was in middle school, I was taking biology, and I didn't finish dissecting my frog. And I asked the teacher if I could come back. And after school, I cut out the brain and the spinal cord of the frog. And the teacher turned to me and said, you know, Joe, maybe you should be a brain surgeon one day. You did an excellent job. And you know, here I am. I am a brain surgeon because of the encouragement of that man. Well, his patient turned to him and said, Doctor, have you ever thanked that teacher? He said, no, I guess I haven't. That night, he said, when he got home, he got on the phone and he called Mr. Slidell, back in his hometown. He said, I just wanted to say something to you. He said, I want you to know how thankful I am for the challenge that you gave me that day. And now here I'm a brain surgeon because of your encouragement. Mr. Slidell turned to him and said, well, I can think of a lot of other people who have done so much more for you in your career to help you get where you are. But he turned to him and he said, you know, Mr. Slidell, he said, it all began with your vision and your encouragement. My friends, there's someone in your world. There's someone in your family. There's someone you know that's just craving for appreciation, for thanks from you. Let's not allow this Thanksgiving Day to go by without expressing our heart to their heart, to show them that we can be the thankful people that God has made us to be.